Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you are watching me. My name is Time Bengala Sende, a native of Kwara State. Without missing words and with every sense of humility, but no fear of contradiction, I can say that I am one of the stakeholders in Kwara State, both economically, professionally, socially, but maybe not politically, because I'm just an aspiring politician. Now, the spate of things happening in Kwara State has called my own attention to also making some remarks on the political mantra. An average person that is coming to Kwara State for the first time, or that is just getting to know Kwara State politically, will know that there's a revolution going on in Kwara State now, especially the banner Otoge, the slogan Otoge, the emblem Otoge. Now, what is Otoge? Otoge is a Yoruba phrase. You can call it an acronym. In English, it means enough is enough. Today I'm talking about a sinking ship. And this sinking ship can be called the name Saraki, a dynasty that has held Kwara State by the jugular for over 4 decades, if I am being economical with my facts and figures. But if I want to overblow my on level, I would say maybe for like about 6 decades now. That may be an exaggeration. You know, for a sinking man, for a drowning man, every available thing that he gets his hand upon, he wants to hold on to. Such is the state of this sinking ship. At a point in time, this ship had a lot of people overboard and on board. But now, the weight seems to be too large, and the ship, after losing its course, has veered into the deep seas and is now in turbulence, so much that it is beyond redemption. Saraki, because of his ego, because of his nonchalant attitude, because of his ineptitude, because of his arrogance, because of the fact that he's too heady, and he does not actually listen to the people. I think that is what has caused this problem for him. You will agree with me that since inception of Kwara State in the year 1967 or 69, pardon my error if I'm mistaken, over the years we know how Kwara State has been. At least I grew up in Kwara State. I know what education was, I know what the infrastructures were, we know what the health facilities were, but where are those things now? Where are all the viable economic indices that used to be in Kwara State? Where are all these things? The Kwara State can boast of a lot of commercial and industrial portfolios. Let me just mention but a few. Whether owned by the federal government or owned by the state government, where is Bashita Sugar Company? Where is Machco? Where is State and Lie? Where is the state-owned Herald newspapers? Where is the state-owned Kwara Furniture? Where is the state-owned Kwara Express? A lot of these companies have been sold out. Some have been mismanaged and they have gone moribund. Some has been transferred. The ownership has been transferred to some individual economic portfolios. What happened to all these things? I remember when I was growing up, my father had houses in Ilorin. I grew up in Kulende Estate. And I remember that inside this Kulende Estate, all the roads in this estate were tarred so much that I don't need to go to the main road to get a cab. All I need to do is just come out of my house, stay in front of my house, and a cab will take me to wherever I'm going to. If you go to this school NDSs now, you possibly feel that it's not even in the geography of Kwara State. No roads, no water, no electricity, nothing. And as a taxpayer, enough of the lies that they are using taxpayers' money to provide infrastructures for the state. Everybody always believes that Kwara State is not on the good side of the economic ladder from the federal government, but that's not true. All the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria get a commensurate amount of allocation from the state government, and this is determined by population and economic tendencies. I remember a friend of mine who was a commissioner at the time, special advisor at another time, who always say that Nigeria, Kwara State is number 33 on the revenue ladder. Is this true? Is this not true? Are you saying that the money that gets to Kwara State is not enough to fund its projects, pay the salaries of its workers? Yeah, okay, if you are saying it is not enough, how does the governor get his own security vote? Was there any time the governor was owed his own salary? Was there any time you were owed your own salary? There are a lot of these things that we may not want to discuss on social media, because as a stakeholder, we also have a responsibility not to create chaos in our polity. Some of these things we know because the people that man these portfolios in government are not spirits. They are our friends, our brothers, our own colleagues. Heads of these parastatals, heads of this department of government, heads of these government functionaries, they are our own colleagues, our friends. Only very, very few of them can we call elder brothers. Most of them are our mates or younger ones. Now, this man, this name, Saraki, has determined the life and the existence of this state for a long time. In terms of choosing who becomes what, it is this name, it is this boat. In terms of determining what gets to this state, it is this boat, it is this name. How long are we going to continue in slavery, in penury? How long are we going to continue serving a paymaster who does not think about you or the generation that is coming after you? I went to a good school, government secondary school, Lorry. One of the best schools in Nigeria. I can put my hands on the tap to say that again and again. But today, can I say the same of that same school? It's a state-owned school. The school has not been funded. There are no new buildings in the school. The school has remained what it is since I left that school, except for the new and the few things that old students of that school have done. That is not to say that we are not going to give credence to the paintings that state government has done. You say that you are rehabilitating schools, you are renovating schools, you go there and paint, you go and use all these bad paints, all these paints that have no quality. You can't build new schools. Is that the same kind of school that your own children that they attend? Now people are talking because everybody's eyes has opened. We are now in a better understanding of what is going on. People now understand. Federal government releases how much it gets to the state. I remember this general rumor that may actually be true, that anytime the state allocation is coming to the state, this sinking boat, Saraki, will come and meet the allocation and decide on how much stays in the pocket of the state. Oh, true or not, we may not be able to say because we don't have the evidential proof. But if it is not true, how come then that the governor will always say that his hands are tied? A lot of people will say that in most of my write-ups, in some of my recordings, that I don't usually mention Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed as the governor of the state. Well, let some other people talk about him, let some other people mention his name. But for me, my problem is about this boat that has held us captive on the high waves, on the high seas, and is taking us into the turbulence of the storm. The only opportunity that most of us have now is the fact that we have a life, and that life jacket is the only hope that we have now. That life jacket is those people who are clamoring for change. It is either you stay on board this sinking ship and be swallowed in the turbulence of water and get drowned with this sinking ship. But I will say, that why don't you just grab a life jacket? Given to us by nature, given to us by time, for you to also have a relief and go on board another ship so that we can steer clearly to the coast. You will find out that in most of the things that I say, I hardly talk about parties, I hardly talk about godfathers and all that. Some people say, okay, what party do you belong to? Yeah, I do belong to a party, but I'm not going to force my party on anybody. I talk more about persons and personality, about situations, about mantras of government, from the federal government down to the state and even to the local government level. Because when you emphasize too much on party formation, just look at the way things are going on now. Some people are here today, tomorrow they are on the other side. So you being in APC today is not a confirmation that you are going to be there tomorrow. 2018 just went by. A lot of people cross-carpeted from one party to the other in that 2018. I don't think Nigeria has ever witnessed such mass transit from one party to the other like last year, 2018. Now, it's so funny that the big man who has felt that his word was law can get to a situation of trembling. He trembles so much that he misfires, he says the wrong things at the right time, or says the right things at the wrong time. Or sometimes he even says the wrong things at the wrong time. Imagine an ex-governor, a sitting president of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Pardon me for that. Going on national, or on public broadcasts, on live radio, on a live program, radio station, and saying that he gave 10 million naira to offer a community who experienced the carnage of 30 people, whether sons or residents in Offa, in one day, in a bank robbery operation, or let's say multiple banks operation. He gave them 10 million naira. That meanwhile, the money that these people, these armed bandits, these armed robbers went to take is not even up to 7 million. I'm saying that 10 million naira is for the repose of their souls. Can that bring back the lost souls? A Senate president cannot lead a protest for the police to fish out those people who did these atrocities, the people behind them. You cannot lead a protest that investigation should continue and they must come to the root of this disdain evil that happened. A lot of this allegation is even wound round here. You now go on radio, you are saying you give them 10 million, and after all the money that they took is not even up to 7 million. What rubbish. Sinking ship. You have sold all the inheritances of Kwara State. There's no development. You spent 4 years as governor. It's your second or third time now at the Senate. You got lucky, became the Senate president, yet there is no influence or affluence that has been wielded that has come as benefit to your state, Kwara State. I'm not going to join those people who will wish you evil. The only wish I have is that Kwara State will be free from you. this sinking ship, that every Kwara will jump off without their life jacket and move to another boat, a rescue boat. Let's move away from this sinking ship and get to the rescue boat. I have so much on my mind that I don't even know in what order to arrange them. This video is going to be short because of time, because of space, and because we don't want to bore you with what you have been reading in the pages of newspaper, because of what you have been seeing on your social media platform. But this is just to reawaken you that Kwara must change, that enough is enough. If Saraki has done well, I always say, if he has done good, if the hospitals in Kwara State are good enough, why can't he, the wife, the children, his family, come and use those hospital facilities that he has provided in Kwara State? Why can't his own children come and attend the schools that we have in Kwara State? If Kankatu secondary schools is good enough, let him bring his own children to us, to also come and school in those schools. The water reticulation project is something that I hate to talk about. How can you claim to have spent over 4 billion naira to provide water for 48,000 people? What kind of mathematical inaccuracy? And you go on the pages of newspapers, you go on the television, you go on radio to go and propagate this your tainted, stained personality, thinking that you are selling yourself to the public. I always have issues with the SSA media, Dr. Femi Akorede, not on personal issues, but issues that borders on professionalism and the life and time of Kwarans. I beg all of you Kwarans, home and abroad, especially for those of us who are living in the diaspora, don't forget that Ilelabo Simioko, home is the rest after working. There is no place like home. People believe in those of us in the diaspora because they know that we have seen it all. In Europe, in America, in Asia, we have good roads everywhere. You have water everywhere, flowing 24/7. But back there at home, what do you get? So I'm begging those of you in the diaspora, you are people of influences. You have families back there in Nigeria, that if you talk to them, they are going to listen to you. I always say that, how do you quantify influence? Who is a shareholder? Who is a stakeholder in the economy and polity of a state? A stakeholder is somebody who can speak to 10 and influence 5. If you cannot influence 5, then you are not there yet. So I beg all of you in the diaspora, it's another ample time for us to think and act. Let us help our state. Let us help our country, Nigeria. Today, emphasis is not on Nigeria. Emphasis is on Kwara State. Whatever you think your own contribution can be, whatever you can say to your people, to your own children, to your families, to your brothers, uncles, aunties, nephews, nieces, and all of them. Whatever you can say to them, tell them that enough is enough. They should jump out of the sinking ship, put on their life jackets, and move to the rescue boat. It might be a boat, but it will take us to the promised land. We can get to the coast on this boat. I beg all of you, and those of you that are in Nigeria, Agbe kò ní lọ́lọ́lọ́ kó má padà sílé, àlùkò ò ní lọ́lọ́lọ́ kórè kó sùn yóò padà wálé, lékeléke ò ní róko iṣẹ́ fún kó má padà sí ibi jíjẹ tiẹ̀, yóò padà sílé ni. No matter how long we have been, we are coming back home. Ẹ̀yin tá a bá lé ẹ̀yin náà là ń bọ̀ wá bá. Please let us do something. Enough of folding up our arms. Let no man deceive us anymore. Enough is enough. The allocation of the state government comes and one person will slash it into two, put half in into his own account. If not, explain to me how you can make your money. Do you have a bakery? Do you have a company like Camwire or like the Doyin group of companies? Tell us how you make your money. You tell us that you spend 400 million, 300 million in some states, across about 30 states. That amount to like about 5 billion naira. And yet you don't have any investment in your own state. How many people are you paying their salaries from your own personal account? You dip your hands into the treasury of Kwara State at the expense of Kwarans. That is not fair. That is outrightly unfair. My heart bleeds. I'm just trying to hide my emotions. I don't want my emotion to betray me. This is a sinking ship. And by the grace of God, all the people on board will come out alive. But this ship is going to sink. I'm going to say this. If Dr. Abubakar Bukola Saraki, the Senate President of the Republic of Nigeria, can ever get his hand on this video, I'm saying this, I don't wish you bad, but it's time for you to leave the mantle of power, to go into hiding, or go into your own private practice. I'm sure you have some pieces of farmland somewhere. Go into farming. You have been governor for 8 years, you've been senator, you've been SA to Obasanjo some time ago. The enough of what you have made, we will forgive you for all the money that you have stolen. But go into farming. Be an exemplary example. For the farming that you say people should go into, you too go into it. But don't try to think that you are going to take Shonga, because that Shonga was fraud. It was footed with the money and resources of Kwarans, the blood of some people. Do you know how much you are owing people? Do you know how many pensioners have died because of you? Because all the money that is supposed to be paid to these people, you withdraw them, you take them away from them. What a sinking ship. Now you are battling to have breath. The issue of cross-carpeting from APC to PDP is a funny thing to me. The same party that you were with for over 2.5 years or over 3 years, you now cross-carpet to PDP, and then the next thing is like you shouting, hey, they are bad. Were you all not in the same system together? I'm not going to say that APC is the best. I'm not going to say that PDP is the worst. But my problem is with this dynasty. I mean, I don't have a problem with somebody being the leader. There will always be somebody that will lead, but we want leaders that will lead and not just discommunicate us from what we call our own heritage. A leader who believes only in his own pocket. That is very, very unfair. It is against the race of humanity. You are supposed to lead, but you are exploiting and exploring people negatively. If you are taking money from Kwara State and you are using it for development, you take your money, go and buy houses in America, buy houses in Europe. We have evidences of these ones. People have them everywhere. That some people are not talking does not mean that they can't see or that they don't know. They are just waiting for the right time. So if you are watching this video, please, I would say you better step down when the ovation is still loudest, before it gets to unavoidable disgrace. Kwarans, Auto girl, you are tired of the kind of empire you cannot give to your children. Somebody who is learned in the art of making hair, you go and buy a sewing machine for her, and you call that empowerment. Is that the kind of empowerment that your own children have? Life should be a life of equality and equity. What you think is good for the goose, but you believe that is not good enough for the gander. You bring other children to be thugs around you. Meanwhile, your own children are there in Europe and America enjoying. I don't see nothing wrong with those children. They can enjoy the privilege of their father being a man of influence and affluence. But what we are saying is that don't degrade other people's children. Don't thwart their own destinies. That's what we are saying. What you cannot do to your own words, to your own family, why do you want to do to others? People are killing themselves, yet you are just there looking at them. That is not to say that the governor too, the outgoing governor, because by February it's going to be the tenure of another person. And I prayed by the grace of God Almighty, that governorship is not going to be decided by one person. It's going to be decided by quarrels. Stop imposing people on us. The process of election has been changed and subverted to a process of selection. You just handpick. Oh yeah, you go and continue my mess up where I stopped. A sinking ship. This is just a part one. Because of time and space, I told you today's video is not going to be too long. Please, you can subscribe to my channel. Valentine Benga Plenty Talk or Lasele. If you just press Plenty Talk, just press Valentine Benga Plenty Talk. It will pop up. Subscribe and just watch a couple of my videos. And watch out for the TV channel that will also be out. Thank you very much for listening. I remain sincerely yours, Valentine Benga or Lasele. Plenty Talk from the diaspora. Have a very great day.